When talking about vaccines and immunity, it's important to kind of understand how our immune system works. The problem is it's really complicated. So I think I've found a way that we can all kind of wrap our hands around this complex subject and understand what's going on. We're going to describe it in the terms of a military operation, which kind of makes sense. We're constantly in a defensive mode, trying to keep us from getting sick. And once we get sick, we're actively fighting for our very lives. So let's talk about our blood. We have two main types of blood cells. We have red blood cells and white blood cells. Red blood cells, their main job is to deliver oxygen to our tissues and the organs of our body. Very important, but not what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the white blood cells. Now, there are three main types that we're going to concentrate on: macrophages, B lymphocytes, and T lymphocytes. Now, when we're talking about macrophages, think of them as the Marines. When we're going to go to war, we send them in to make a big mess. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to land and they're just going to start killing everything. They're going to kill viruses or bacteria. They're going to find cells that are dying and just engulf them. Those pieces and parts that are left, we're going to call those antigens. And we're going to use those antigens in order to try and formulate antibodies to be able to fight this enemy on a broader scale. That brings us to our next cell, the B lymphocytes. The B lymphocytes are kind of like the military scientists. They're going to come in, they're going to look at what all happened after the Marines left, sort out the parts that were ours, and the pieces and parts of those viruses or bacteria. From those pieces or parts, they're going to try and formulate an antibody and then be able to find a biological weapon that then we can attack in large-scale numbers. The next cell that we're going to talk about is the T lymphocyte. Now, the T lymphocyte has the terrible job of ferreting out the traitors in our body. The traitors are those cells that have been infected by bacteria or viruses and are now trying to produce those in large numbers. And so they're going to find those cells, kill them, engulf them, and get rid of them. Now, after the war is all over, some of these T cells then become our war historians. They remember, how do we recognize the enemy? How did we make that biological warfare known as antibodies? And what can we do to fight this off so we can skip the whole war? Now, that's where vaccines come in, to simulate the war. It doesn't really happen, but we give them something that kind of looks like it so we can jump straight to that historian T cell that remembers how to fight. That way, if we're ever exposed to that virus or bacteria, we already know how to fight it, and we can just put a smart bomb to it and it's all done. Sure, vaccines may have some mild side effects, but they're great in preventing all the death and dismemberment that comes with the war. So they're well worth giving, and that's the way they work within our immune system.